Hello, I'm Linda from paperboutique.blogspot.com. Today we're going to be making flowers using air dry clay. In April, I saw a video by Creations with Christina on how to make flowers out of polymer clay. It looked like fun, but I wanted to try making clay flowers very inexpensively to see if I really wanted to do it before I purchased a craft oven, tools, etc. I found the perfect solution while I was on vacation. Hobby Lobby sells air dry clay and very inexpensive molds, so I just had to try them. What I found, and we'll talk about some of the different clays I use, but this one was my favorite. It's called Makin's Clay, and this particular one came with, let me see, I think 6 colors in it for $3.87, and it's totally no-bake polymer clay. And I got the mold, let me just take this out and show you, for $3.99, and it's just a cute, I'm not sure if you're able to see that, a flower mold. We'll be using it in a moment. Let me show you just a few of the colors of the clay that came in there, and also a rose color and, well, really kind of like a more of a blush color, and a golden rod color came with it. I was getting ready to do some fall crafting, so I wanted to pick the fall shades. Well, let me show you what I actually made using the molds out of the clay, and I'll talk a little bit about the differences. First of all, this is just using the Makin's Clay, which is this, and I allowed it to air dry. Once it was dry, I didn't put any glaze on it, but this particular piece, I did put a glaze, and I didn't go out and buy this. This one's very, very old. I've had it in my craft closet, and I just used a soft brush after the clay dried about, at least 24 hours, and I just applied one coat. Also, this particular clay was this color to begin with, and I mixed some Pearlax into that particular clay, and I mixed, for this one, I mixed Super Copper. To get this effect, I used a blush clay, and I'll show you when we mold it. And then while it was wet, while the clay was still wet, I brushed it with some Pearlax powder and just using a real soft brush. And it dries. I didn't go ahead and glaze this. I wanted you to see it, because it's just a beautiful, beautiful sheen. And now what you're going to need to do after it dries is I need to go in and go ahead and glaze it so I can set the Pearlax, because it will brush off. I also wanted to try some different clays, because when I purchased this Makin's Clay, and I wish I knew what I know now when I was at Hobby Lobby, because I would have purchased some white clay. Well, I wanted to use white air dry clay, so I did go to Joann's and I purchased some white Crayola air dry clay, and I did not have good results with these molds. As I said earlier, I'm a true beginner, but I found that clay very difficult to work with. No matter what I did with the Crayola air dry clay, I just came up with a less than acceptable result. It tended to crack, and I was not able to get a good impression. So next, I purchased this is just paper clay, and I've got it in an airtight bag so it doesn't dry out. And it doesn't work as well as the Makin's Clay, but it does work. And I wanted to show you this particular flower is made using the paper clay and the mold. And this was also brushed while wet with a Pearlax blue-green. But what you'll notice, and I'm not sure if the camera will pick it up, it tends to be a more porous clay, so you get a very different look. You can see here how shiny the Pearlax stays on this particular clay, but it doesn't work quite as well on this clay. Well, let's go ahead and let me show you what how to do it. It's just super simple, and we're going to use this mold. And although I really like the Makin's Clay mold that came with it, it's a little shallow. So I think I'm going to order some of the molds from Mold Muse that Christina recommended and go ahead and try that. I'm going to show you what I just have been storing this in 2 airtight bags, and I'll just pull out, sorry for the noise, a piece of the blush clay. And all you really do, I'm going to pull back the paper, is just take, and it's really soft. It just has a really nice feel to it, and just experiment. Like I said, this is my first time ever using clay, so I'm sure I'm doing some of this wrong, but well, that looks like a little bit bigger circle than we need. So what I do is I just roll it and get it a little soft. It's not like the polymer clay. It's pretty soft when you get it. And I don't have any clay tools yet. So all I'm going to do is just push it. And I hope you're seeing that. I'm just get it in to the mold. And what I found too is you can let, especially with the paper clay, you can let it dry right in the mold a little. And I turn it over and just kind of squeeze it and make sure I've got it in there. And I'm not taking my time with this like I would if I wasn't doing a video. And then what you'll do is you'll just pop it out, and you can see I got a little sloppy there, and I just take my fingernail, but I think you could use, you know, any clay tool to do that. And then all I do is go ahead and I took a red russet, and I'm just going to show you, even though if I were doing this one on my own, I would redo it because it's not perfect. And look, and then you just go over it. I'm hoping you can see that a couple of times, and look. And I mean, you could do this with any color Pearl-Ex, and I'm guessing actually that Perfect Pearls would work just as well. And you just get, I mean, it's just gorgeous. And for fall, it would be just super cute. Well, one of the things I want to show you that I did with it, and I don't want to lay my card down, so I'll just kind of hold it up, is what I did is I used it just on a bow. I thought it was super cute to go ahead and make a flower and then just attach it with a glue dot to a bow, and I think that would be great on a card, or you could use the flowers on a card. Also, as you can see here on this particular card, I didn't use it on the bow, but I think it would be super easy to do and just add a little bit more touch. This particular card I posted on my Monday's post if you're interested in directions, but I think it would be just fun to add that little touch to it. And as you can see, it turns out perfect. And I'll let this dry for about, oh my goodness, probably 24 hours, brush a little bit more on, and then I'll go ahead and seal it with a soft brush, and I'll be finished. And I just think the effect is great. Now, as I said earlier, this is my first time with clay, and I am a true beginner, but I fell in love with making clay, no-bake polymer clay. I'm sure that there are other wonderful air dry clays on the market, and I plan on continuing to experiment. In the meantime, I'm going to order more of this particular clay brand, Makin's Clay brand. My goal at the beginning was to try air dry clay before investing more on this hobby. Now I'm super hooked, and I do plan to order more molds, or some molds, for Mold Muse and really get started on this. Well, I would like to thank you for watching, and please visit my blog at paperboutique.blogspot.com for more projects and ideas. Bye-bye.